once you realize, how vulnerable people are and people can be, it helps you to have a better understanding. Like, I need to be a listener. I'm not social workers aren't fixers. Like, we're not going to fix you. We're going to listen to you. We're going to support you. We're going to advocate for you. That's our job. We're going to do what you need, however you need. And there are barriers to that. And I'm sure we'll get into that. But
welcome to Creepalachia. We're diving into the world, another world that I have no clue anything about it. It is social work. And I'm so glad to be joined by Ashton Pritt and Miranda Morgan. Thank you all for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, so let's go one by one here. We'll start with Ashton. I'm looking at the screen. On the left is Ashton. So Ashton, tell me about you. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Oak Hill, West Virginia. Still live in Oak Hill, West Virginia. My dad was a pastor for like 10 years, early life. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. I spent like a decade living with my grandma in my high school years. Went to Concord, got a social work degree. Met my husband there. Got married, and now we live still in Oak Hill with my 2 stepchildren and my daughter, who's 2.5.
Awesome. White picket fence, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a zoo inside the house. I've got 3 dogs and 2 cats.
Oh, yeah.
Good deal. What made you get into this profession?
So I love telling this story, actually. I started at Concord to get an education degree as a teacher, and I was almost done. And my dad passed away when I was in college. He was an alcoholic.
Oh.
He was 46 years old when he died, and I was there with him when he died. And it was so awful and surreal. And I wanted to help kids who went through some of the stuff that I went through, having that growing up. So about when the semester started, he died in January, and not long after that, I went to the social work department head. And I said, I want to do this. I want to do this. I don't want to teach. I want to do more. So that's what caused me to start diving into social work. And I'm now actively getting my master's. So
well, congratulations.
Exciting. Yeah.
How personal we get. I'll talk about my childhood too, if we want. But what was it like for you to grow up with a father who had an addiction like that?
So I'm the oldest of 3. And my dad started the heavy drinking when I was about 7. So I remember him before. My siblings don't really remember that. So I think that was different for me, and it was very difficult. And it got to the point where it was so bad that all contact was pretty much cut. I didn't talk or see or speak to him for 6 years. And then I found out he was sick and he had cirrhosis. And I went to see him. And we kind of had a discussion, and talked. And then I got about 1.5 years, visiting with him, and, he would come and see me and things like that. And I'm forever thankful for that 1.5 years that we had, even though he was still very sick and still very much heavily drinking. But at that point it didn't matter. So,
yeah. I've wondered that myself, like, if I ever get a call one day of like, hey, all those years that I wasn't that good of a dad, would you come and like, can we mend the fit? Like, yeah. Who called you? Did you make contact?
So I had a boyfriend at the time who really pressured me, and I don't really know why. He was like, I want to meet your dad. And I hadn't talked to my dad. Mm-hmm. And, finding out he was sick and that pressure, I mean, our relationship didn't work out, but I'll always be thankful that he kind of did that, even though it was odd for me at the time, because he went with me and then later found out my dad didn't like him. But He went with me. And we met at my dad's sister's, my aunt's house, and it was very nice. He looked not like him. He was very sick. And we kind of just rekindled. It was
good.
It was nice. But yeah. And then about a year and a half later.
Goodness. All right. So you brought all your trauma to your profession, and it's time to change the world.
Yeah.
I love it. Obviously, I don't wish people to go through trauma ever, but it's always a beautiful story to me to see it transformed.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to getting into that. But first, Miranda, how are you?
I'm great.
All
How are
right.
you?
Perfect. Where'd you grow up?
So I actually grew up in Southwest Virginia, in a very small town called Damascus. It's considered the happiest town on the Appalachian Trail.
Okay.
I moved here 5 to 6 years ago. I got a random FaceTime call around Thanksgiving in 2020. And it is now my husband. One of our friends FaceTimed me and said she wanted me to meet somebody and gave the phone to my husband and literally didn't know his name, didn't know anything about him. And he said, "You're so pretty, I could kiss you right now." And I was like, "Who are you?"
What a good story. This is like the most middle school thing I've ever heard.
And then 2 months later, we met in real life. I crashed a bachelor party that he was a part of and told him I was going to marry him. And I moved up here like 4 months later, didn't know a single person but him, and lived here ever since.
Awesome. And you somehow met Ashton.
Yes, we met at our jobs. So we were both actually pregnant at the time. She didn't know that I was pregnant. But we really bonded over that. And I think that was something that was really special for us to share.
Mm-hmm.
And our youngest children are a month and 2 days apart.
How cool. Why did you decide to get into social work?
So I worked in a maximum security juvenile detention center for quite some time, about 2 years. And one of the biggest things that I would see there is other people working there were kind of on this like power trip because you're the correctional officer. So what you say goes, but nobody cared about why these kids are here. Like these kids aren't committing crimes just because they're bad kids.
Mm-hmm.
Something is going on. So I would talk to them and I would figure out a little bit more about, what their history was. And it would, they were abused, their parents were addicts, all of these different factors that made them into who they were. And I wanted to learn more about that. And oddly enough, just like Ashton, I was an education major at the time. And I was dead set on teaching kids. That's what I wanted. And after working there, I went to King University and got a bachelor's degree. And then I wanted to continue my education for a master's. So I graduated from WVU with my master's degree.
Go Ears.
And I am currently working towards my LICSW hours so I can practice independently.
Well, congratulations. If you say go ears when you're talking about Marshall, people go nuts. I made this video talking about this guy I graduated. I'm sorry. I got to make everything about myself.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But Damascus, what county is that in? Where is that?
Washington County in Virginia.
Okay.
Like if you get off the Withville exit, it's like 45 minutes from there.
Gotcha.
I went to a very small high school. I graduated with maybe 50 kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it near Tazewell or is it the other way?
The other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, cool. Well, thank y'all for being here. So your jobs involve all ages of social work, would you say? Like you was mentioning geriatric. What do you call it? Geriatric, pediatric? I don't know. What are the words?
Like geriatric, adults, and adolescents.
Gotcha. Okay. Adolescents. That's the word I was thinking of. So how many years do each of you have? What about you, Miranda?
I have worked at this my current job for 5 years.
Cool. And you
3.5.
3.5 years. All right. So you've got enough to know like, oh, I'm going to do this forever, or you're not. But I'm assuming. What do you think about it now? Do you still love it, Miranda? How's it going?
I love it. I think that we can't really understand a person until you understand where they came from. And a lot of people really jump to conclusions when they see people from a certain walk of life, but they have no clue what led them there. And that's something that I've really learned in social work, is that everyone really does have a story and something that bigger that's going on or has happened to them that's changed who they are.
Sure. What's it like working in social work in a pull yourself up by your bootstraps state? Does that make sense? Like, sometimes we lack compassion on empathizing. Does that make sense? I'm just curious if that affects the processes, or you all don't even really notice anything like that, because it sounds like you're both very empathetic coming into this work.
I think you have to be humble, and I think that you have to know that most people are just a bad day away from a crisis. I mean, a lot of people that live around here aren't financially stable, and it's, high poverty. Our geography is a issue, no transportation. But I think that once you realize, how vulnerable people are and people can be, it helps you to have a better understanding. Like, I need to be a listener. I'm not social workers aren't fixers. Like, we're not going to fix you. We're going to listen to you. We're going to support you. We're going to advocate for you. That's our job. We're going to do what you need, however you need. And there are barriers to that. And I'm sure we'll get into that. But once you realize how fragile, being a human being is, I think that is the key to being empathetic.
Sure, yeah. It leads me to my next question. Like, what would you all say the definition of social work is? Like, we hear social worker, but I know there's probably 100 things tied to that. So what would the basic definition? Would advocate be the word, really, with what it is?
Could be a word. Like advocate, support,
non-judgmental,
resource, listener.
What do you find yourself doing more than others? Like, is there a certain task of like, well, I don't know, I pay people's power bill. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm just curious.
I think it's complicated to define it because it's a very flexible, what's the word? Occupation.
Yeah. Sure.
It is. It's a flexible occupation. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with it. You can work in mental health. You can work in the justice system. You can work in schools. You can work with just about any population that you want. There's a job there. And I think we're seeing a little bit more of that branching out with schools, communities and schools and things like that, school social workers. But I think it's hard to define because it's so broad.
Sure. So it's not like DHHR. It's like you mentioned, schools have social workers, like different organizations probably have some type of advocate to help people walk through processes and different things like that. So,
well, let me tell you this. When I graduated with my degree, someone told me, no, you're going to have to start in CPS.
Right.
You're going to have to start there. You can't just, because I knew I wanted to do medical. I had worked in a pharmacy, and I knew that I was interested in some type of medical social work. And that's what I wanted. And I didn't want to work in CPS. I have all the respect and gratitude to those who do, because that is such a difficult job.
Oh, yeah.
It's very draining. And then that wasn't the case. I interned with the department, but I never had to work there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have, like, what's the ratio of hard days? Do you ever just go home and you're like, you know what? life sucks? Or are you the opposite of like, I'm so grateful for my life because all these people struggle on a daily basis? Or what's the general vibe of the work?
Sometimes, even after 5 years, I'm shocked at things that I see or hear. So when I see or hear something that I guess I wasn't really expecting, it 1,000% can affect my day. Being a social worker and then also being a wife, a mom, a friend, like you really have to, like in your brain, be able to, what's the word? Like compartmentalize.
Compartmentalize.
Yeah,
okay.
Like you really have to be able to think about, like, turn it off when you get home, but sometimes it does affect you at the end of the day.
That makes sense. Well, I mean, in a state with the foster care crisis and, every other crisis you want to list out, I'm sure it's hard, but it's, you have to have empathetic people in these roles. Otherwise, they're just going to steamroll. And
you have to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a healthy balance, and you have to make sure, we preach self-care all the time, but you have to take care of yourself. And I think we're doing a pretty good job of that.
What we talking? Meditation, like what? Regular exercise?
Doing things you enjoy.
Yeah,
sure.
I like to walk. Ashton can vouch. I have a walking pad in the office. I get normally like 25,000 steps a day.
A walking pad.
Yeah,
you just walk
it
in
goes
a
like
circle?
under my desk.
Oh, okay.
It's like a treadmill without the top.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just document and walk, and that's something that helps me. That's one of my, I guess, coping skills.
Sure.
Walking.
Makes sense. So let's go through some definitions. So you hear the term mandatory reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What are these things for people who may not know? Like certain roles or positions or...
Mm-hmm. So certain individuals are mandated reporters. Social workers are mandated reporters. Teachers, nurses, any healthcare provider.
Yeah. Daycare. Anyone who, if you work with children or anyone who's vulnerable.
Yeah. I think everyone should be a mandated
Honestly,
reporter.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
What is it exactly?
To report any suspicions of someone being abused or neglected. And we've been talking about this a lot lately. A lot of people, you see something happening to somebody.
The
bystander effect. We have been talking about this a lot. I'll let you explain it.
Like everyone, like we're all watching something happen and everyone else thinks that someone else is going to do something about it. But then nobody ends up doing anything about it because everyone is just like, oh, well, Ashton will do it because she witnessed it. But at the end of the day, like you have to make sure that, as a mandated reporter, I have to make sure that I'm keeping anyone safe that I have any concerns about.
What about those 3 people that made TikToks during it, though? I mean, whipped out their phones like, hey,
oh, yeah,
look at that. No, that's very annoying. It's like, hey, there's a guy on fire in a car. Could you help him out?
Yeah, I've never understood people that video other people's tragedies and think it's funny. I guess I wouldn't call it a trend, but when teenagers, there was a video on Facebook a few months ago where these teenagers were recording themselves beating up another kid.
Oh, goodness. Are you talking about this disabled kid?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if you saw that.
See that.
It was literally horrific. Things like that make my blood boil. I cannot understand any excuse for that behavior at all.
Psychopathy?
Yeah. It's
it was an autistic kid.
Mm-hmm.
And they were filming these idiots beat him up.
He was
Huntington.
lured to the park by a girl that he liked.
It was very, very sad.
It was, absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And then it kind of adds an extra layer when it's even a more vulnerable person. And some of the most vulnerable people that we've met are also some of the most caring people that we've met. And that makes my heart hurt even more, because people really do take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
They think it's just funny, and it's not.
Yeah.
Like it's,
or they have their own personal agenda on why they are showing this person's story. And we've had a lot of that lately in Southern West Virginia. But so to not be a bystander, what are some signs? Let's start with kids, for instance. I always go to kids because kids are the most vulnerable of the population that can't often defend themselves. What are some examples of things to look for when a kid is, being abused or having a rough go in some way?
Regression is a big one. If a kid stops doing things, especially in younger children, if they stop going to the bathroom, if they've mastered some kind of milestone and they just
regress all of a sudden.
For instance, what, like, putting down roadblocks or something? Like what kind of, or they learn to draw and then stop drawing?
Or like if they're like normally very talkative and now all of a sudden they're kind of shut off. Gotcha. And they're not really talking, don't really want to make eye contact. I would say that's a huge red flag. And just, I don't think a lot of people want to really listen to kids. Because sometimes kids do make things up and kids do get things mixed up, but I feel like there's truth in a lot of things that the kids do say. And if you really listen to a kid talk, they can kind of tell you without telling you that something's going on.
Sure.
Because sometimes they can be, scared by a parent, guardian, friend, hey, if you tell so-and-so that I hit you, XYZ is going to happen. But the kid may start acting out violently and hitting their siblings or getting in fights at school or something along those lines. And you can watch for that.
Gotcha. What do you do in those instances of you suspecting something? Who do you contact specifically?
Centralized intake, which we've talked about on the show, and I have a listening problem, and I've already forgot everything we talked about. So what is that exactly? So centralized intake is they take all CPS and APS reports. So when you call the number, you will get connected to a social worker that's going to take your information. You can make an anonymous CPS or APS report, but you do have to initially give your information because they actually send you a mandated reporter letter to let you know if the case that you've reported gets investigated or not investigated. So you call, you make the report, you express your concerns, and then it is in the hands of CPS or APS on what happens.
Do you all have access to the backlog? Nope. Okay.
We don't even, if we make a report, we don't even know what happens after that.
Gotcha.
9 times out of 10, it's very rare that we might have a way of finding that out, but very rare. And they'll ask you if you're a mandated reporter. And honestly, I don't know what they say if you say no.
Yeah.
So,
like, did they just not take your report?
Right.
Well, they'll take the report, but will they just not ask for your information?
Yeah.
Because you get a letter. When you call that in, they will send you a form, and the form will have the child's or the family's last name on it. And then it just has two spots, and it'll say X for reviewed for investigation or X for not reviewed, basically. So, and just because it's investigated does not mean it's going to be open. Like, most most of the kids that we've worked with,
Mhm.
they might be investigated, but most of the time that's it. Like,
Yeah.
they go
Right.
in, they investigate, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what they do.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. No. Well, it sounds like I'm sure it's understaffed. CPS would be the people to contact,
It's a
correct?
hard
Child
job.
Protective
Yeah.
Services. Oh, I could only imagine.
It's a hard
Mhm.
job. You're on call all the time. It's short staffed. It's underpaid. I mean, we know all this already, but yeah,
Large
it's
caseloads.
horrible caseload.
Yeah. From your all's end, like you mentioned, you're kind of a middle person
Mhm.
of like, okay, well, I'm going to work with them and then I'm going to advocate for you and we're going to figure out the best situation. Is that kind of?
We often do work kind of hand in hand with the department.
Gotcha.
Very often.
Yeah.
Do y'all collaborate well, or is there a bunch of egos? It's like, I done investigated, Ashton. You need to call someone else with your problems, or do y'all get along pretty well? Or
I think it's just
Yeah.
like with any other thing in this whole wide world. I mean, you're going to have people that you
Yeah.
come across who are absolutely wonderful, and you're going to come
Mhm.
across people who are not.
one of those things.
Yeah.
So there's not like a regular contact. You deal with a lot of different folks.
I will say that there are some people who work for the department that I will specifically reach out to if I have a
Mhm.
question about something.
Yeah.
And those people know who they are. And
Yeah.
I bet they hate that. I bet they're like, daggone it. Can I
Yeah,
just not be
they're-
called today because I'm awesome?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we have specific contacts where if we feel like something is a huge concern and it's kind of being like overlooked, we go straight to that person.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, I need an update on this, or I want an update on this, or,
Gotcha.
we definitely have built strong bonds with certain people in the department. And I think that is something that's irreplaceable because at the end of the day, they have the same goal that we do.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe most people have good intentions, but can I tell you my 10% theory?
Yes.
Mhm.
So my theory is all organizations, this could be from, McDonald's, Food Line to, any government branch. I'm not going to point anyone out. I think 10% of the organization actually knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
then the other 90% take all the stuff that they don't know and push it on that 10% until they're so overwhelmed and overloaded
Yeah.
that they either quit or quit.
Mm-hmm.
That's my theory. But I don't know. I mean, and I'm not targeting anyone specifically, but I think like systems, especially with the government, it's hard to change things.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I think it's easy to point out the problems.
Sure.
Mhm.
The problems are so easy to find. The complainers it's easier to complain than to do work to
Uh-huh.
fix something.
Sure.
And it is. It's harder. I mean, I have all kinds of ideas.
Yeah.
And
But putting them
into practice, as social workers would say, it's hard. I mean,
Mhm.
there are so many different aspects to it.
Yeah.
Funding
Mhm.
and as a
Limited
I think a lot of
resources.
things boil down to money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Try to all agree with what sign to put in the lobby. Like, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, it gets down to that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got to put out a bill and then you got to read the bill 78 times.
Mhm.
And then, 3 months later, you can introduce it again next year,
Right.
with government anyway. So I can only imagine the red tape that's involved. But at the same time, you don't want one person to just go in there and say, all right, whoosh, 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 we're going to change all this stuff.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a better way to fix things. And maybe we're doing that. Like maybe we're proactively doing that. But what are some ways from your all's experience? Let's just talk about intake. Like, are there certain things that you feel could be changed to make things flow a little more seamlessly? Or is it kind of one of those things of, well, there's really 100 things?
There are a lot of things, but I feel like those things are way above where we are. Does that make sense?
Sure. No. Yeah.
Like, I get frustrated when I have difficulty getting a hold of someone through maybe the department.
Mhm.
It's very frustrating for me. However, I know at the same time that those people have way more work to do than me.
Mhm.
I know that. They have home visits. They are taking children from their homes. They're going to court. They have to see every kid on their caseload every single month. And a lot of those kids, and we'll get to lack of resources, I'm sure, aren't in the state.
Mm-hmm.
They're placed out of state.
Mhm.
They're busy. I mean, they are nonstop. But when you need something, it's hard to remember that.
Mhm.
And I think that's universal, not just in social work. But I mean, that is a frustration for us, honestly. And I think the department knows it, but I think they're just drowning.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, they don't have, like, I would imagine there's one person to, I don't know, hundreds of cases.
Yeah.
I'm just taking a
And
guess.
I mean, there's 6,000 kids in foster care in West Virginia.
Unfortunately, which was, I think I heard a number, and this was several years ago. This was over 10 years ago. I was like 3,000. And then we had an episode involving social work. Shout out Kelly Gano. I'm sorry that I forgot your explanation of centralized intake. But they said 6,000, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's doubled.
Yeah.
So from when I was paying attention to it. So it's just it's very sad, but at the same time, bless you all who do this every day, because I don't know, the people that we do have in place, everyone I've met is just salt of the earth, great human beings, and I don't know what we would do without them on the front lines bearing the brunt. A lot of people like to say, they don't need to tell me what to do for my kids. I don't have, they ain't got to go to school 5 days a week. Nobody gonna tell me that. You got a lot of that stuff going on.
Mhm.
But you got a lot of people too that I'm sure are overwhelmed. A lot of grandparents
Mhm.
that are
Well, you have to be aware of the culture.
sure.
You have to know the Appalachian culture is different.
Mhm.
People are family oriented, and a lot of those people, grow up in poverty. You stay in poverty. Not everyone, I know that, but you have to be culturally aware of what's going on around you for
Mhm.
sure.
That's important to talk about, because you know what you grow up around, and people like to say, like, well, they can get a job just like I can. They can do this. They can do that. First off, you're not looking into all of these variables that these kids have grew up with. You don't look into what they've done every day.
Yeah.
You don't look into what they've been taught. You don't look into, IQ levels. You don't look into all types of things. And I don't like to judge people just by saying, oh, well, they're poor, so they're this. That's never the case. It's just understanding that usually you have no clue what you're talking about when when you're just saying, oh, well, they should do this. Like, okay, well, that's great for you to say.
Yeah.
It can be a domino effect too.
Yeah.
Mom and dad, let's say, okay, don't have any money. They're poor. Mom and dad don't have a car.
Mhm.
Little Bobby is turning 16, wants to get a job, but lives in a holler in any county, really. How's he going to get to his job? Can't walk. It's too far. And he can't learn to drive because whose car is he going to use? So and there's a lot of people don't have reliable transportation, and it's a problem. I mean, we can get into the politics of it, like clean water and all that kind of stuff. But something that I see a lot is transportation.
Mhm.
Oh, well, yeah. Infrastructure is crumbling in these old coal towns, and people have had brown water for 3 years, and all kinds of things going on like that. They got to deal with that, but then they got to walk X number. Who knows? Some kids walk probably half a mile to get the school bus, or you just never know someone's situation. There's a lot of barriers. Just in McDowell County, I mean, to drive across the county takes an hour.
Mhm.
Which is here's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Sure.
People, the backpackers. I'm sure you heard of backpackers. If those people don't have a car and they're going to the store to get some bananas,
Mhm.
if I'm going to the store to get a few things, I'll take a bag to put it in. And if they have to walk a couple miles, they're going to take these people. I don't know. We're at a point where I think as a society, we're becoming so desensitized
Mhm.
because of social media and media in general. I mean, what is it? Last month, we watched someone get killed on a train in Charlotte, on a
Sure.
subway train.
I still ain't watched that. I would not.
Would not.
No.
It's sad.
I mean, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's probably the worst. I wish I'd never seen the video.
I will not watch it.
Don't.
When it comes to stuff, I don't know what it is. It's like, first off, it's very sad, regardless of how you believe.
Mhm.
I don't care who that is up there in front of a crowd. It's very sad and sickening to me when I see someone get their life taken.
Yeah.
It's like, I like to march around. I'm a very positive person. I'm like, oh yeah, this, that, and that, and the other. And then when stuff like that pops up, it's like, it tries to steal my soul.
Mhm.
It's like, no, you're dumb, JD. People are actually depraved. And like, no, that's not the case. There's a very small percentage that are depraved. But I still overwhelmingly believe it's the greatest time to be alive, and people are overwhelmingly good. And I will always believe that. And but it does sicken and sadden me when I just will not watch stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just so sad. What can people do to try and put the mental health of their children in the forefront? Is there something we can do, like taking away screen time, or maybe actually talking to them?
Mhm.
Does that help? What are some things that we can do to help kids in this anxious world?
I will die on the hill that children now, so like when I was growing up, I mean, we didn't have screen time, wasn't a thing. Like we were outside till the streetlights came on. And kids now are exposed to so much more at such a younger age than you can even imagine. Like young kids talking about things that, I mean, drugs, sex, that they shouldn't even know about at however old they are. I think a lot of parents use tablets, YouTube as a distraction. My kids do watch YouTube, but it is very closely monitored. There's a lot on YouTube that I don't think parents realize are on there.
Oh, psychopaths. There's,
there are
predators.
things on, and even in like some children's videos, if you're really listening, like sometimes there's things that are said or done, and as an adult, you're like, oh, okay. But they're planting the seed in your kid's head. And so I think monitoring what your children are watching, who they're with, what they're doing, what you allow as a parent. I mean, if you're not going to make your kid listen when they're 6, what are you going to do when they're 16 and
Sure.
they're bigger than you are?
Yeah.
Because it's easier to be dismissive than it is to hold up your end of the bargain when your kid's yelling and screaming and ranting and raving. I've got 2 kids. They love a good tantrum, especially my 2.5-year-old. So, but at the end of the day, like I know even now, if I just let things slide, I mean, I'll just keep letting them slide all.
Sure.
And you just
Do you ever have a day where you're like, I'm the suckiest parent? Like my
all the
kid
time.
hates me. What is going
Yes.
on? Why are they so angry?
I literally,
Okay.
Mom guilt is so
Yes.
real.
I literally talked to my husband about this last night because kids, I swear, they're worse with mom. It doesn't matter how I discipline, what I do. They 1,000% are worse when it comes to being with just me. Like my husband had him over the weekend. Great. He didn't have a single complaint. he's gone for work last night, and I'm calling him because they're screaming and crying at each other and yelling and trying to hit each other. And I'm like, what? Like, you had a great week. What is happening here? But you're mom's their safe place. Mom, stepmom, you're their safe place.
This is I can see my wife Jenna is sitting there getting her hair ready for work, listening to this. It's like, thank you for bringing this up, because this is like our life. But I think it's several things too, because Jenna's like a people pleaser and she wants to fix problems, and I'm kind of like, figure it out. And because I have that laid back attitude, obviously I'll provide for her and take care of her, and but at the same time, short from giving her food and water and a place to live, I feel like she needs to figure a lot of this stuff out on how to take care of herself. And I kind of sat in the background while Jenna's like, let me fix these problems. And in turn, it's a lot of stress and creates a lot of anxiety. Yeah. So it's good to hear that. I think a lot of parents are going to relate to that. But yeah, and with our kid, I know the screen time is out of control. We got her a phone at 11, and I'm like, I don't like this. I'll start this with, I'm 40. How old are y'all?
I'm 32.
Okay. I usually don't like to ask people their age because people are weird about it.
It's okay. I'm 28.
28. Okay. So 28, you grew up, so cell phones were around when you was a teenager.
Yes.
Okay. How did you personally grow up with cell phones? Because when I grew up, I'm very grateful for not.
I'm not going to lie. I got in trouble with my phone a lot. I got it taken a lot.
Really?
In high school.
Ashton was a rebel.
Right.
I was an idiot.
Right.
I was. But it's okay because I'm here now and it's all wonderful. Learn my lessons. But, I remember getting a track phone, thinking that was so cool. I mean, I never had I lived with my grandma from 8th grade until I moved out when I moved in with my husband. So she was very strict. Love you, Mama, if you're listening.
Shout out, Mama.
Oh, she's the best.
Oh,
love her.
Best grandma in the world. Wouldn't trade her for a thing.
Appalachia has the best grandmas.
They do.
They just do.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. That's the truth.
That is true. My husband's grandma she's a peach.
Yeah.
She's good.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Beans and cornbread on point. But
That's right.
Yeah, go ahead, Ashton.
But yeah, I remember getting the phone with the keyboard for the first time, and that was also so cool. My first phone with a touch screen, my first iPhone. Yeah, I was probably in 8th grade when I got my first phone.
Okay. See, I think that's a good age.
Yeah.
I'll see, and no judgments, people. Calm down. I see 6-year-olds running around with a cell phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're one Google away from changing their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, things are so accessible.
Yeah.
That can traumatize a kid. And like you said, being sensitized to it. Here's a version. So the movie It, was terrifying when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I watched it at 5. Shout out to my dad for doing that. We don't talk anymore, but that kind of, I think, put me on a trajectory that I may not have been on if I didn't watch It at 5. Now, granted, I think he just didn't care and turned it on, and then there you are. But you watch, I'll show my daughter, if I show my daughter that movie now, she would laugh. It doesn't hold up. You watch the It now, and it's freaking terrifying. So it just shows you how sensitivity levels have changed within those 30 years.
Yeah.
Because you got to have more and more and more. And, you got to catch people within 5 seconds instead of 15 seconds now. And people can't sit through a whole movie. It's just hard, which it's hard for me to do that. But I'm just curious if you've noticed any kind of anxious problems because of cell phones. I know I have, but.
Listen, I don't think kids know what commercials are anymore. We stream everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you pay for ad-free? I think a commercial would come on in my house and my kids would be like, what's this? No, not. I think the older ones would know what a commercial.
Well, you know what it is now. It's, Billy Bob on YouTube that buys this new candy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tells the kids how awesome it is, and then they'll subliminally like Mr. Beast, for instance. Now, granted, I love the chocolate peanut
The
butter.
Feastables.
Oh. But at the same time, he got us too.
I know.
Like, it's just chocolate and peanut butter.
But it's got cool packaging.
I know, but it's chocolate and peanut butter. This has been out, but it's so good. But is it good, or is he telling me it's good? Like some Halloween 3 stuff. I don't know if y'all watched that, but it's like these masks that hypnotize people that watch it. Okay, anyway. Yeah. So advertising has changed. It's just changed in a way that they pay their little dorky YouTubers. That's funny because we're on YouTube, but they pay them a crap ton of money to flaunt their stuff, and the kids are like, okay, I will buy it. Let me tell mommy and cry until I get it,
Yeah.
So it's weird how things are changing. And I think it's going to potentially be, there's still a lot of awesome kids that are going to do amazing things, but I think it's going to be detrimental to the overall productivity of humans, because later they're just going to walk around like drones, like looking down at their phone. Like me, I got a little crick in my neck for looking at this stupid freaking phone all day. It's like, we got to fix it, but I don't know if we can.
I think, go ahead.
It's making us lazy.
Yeah.
It makes us so lazy.
I'm so lazy.
We went camping a few weeks ago, and my husband was like, I made a camping list on ChatGPT.
Right.
Not the ChatGPT.
Sorry.
I mean, that's great. Shout out.
I mean, that is wonderful, but technology is great. But at the same time, I think it's going to be detrimental to our society.
Yeah. I'm always glass half full, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. Like my daughter, she's so talented, but there was a long time where she thought a cheeseburger cost $100. Like she just has no clue what's in store. And I keep telling her every day, I'll sit her down and I'll be like, if you put your bearded dragon near that cat, it's going to bite its head off. That's nature. And she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, I got to give some story every day to try and be like, I'm a divorced kid. So I gotta give you, like, your life's great and we love life, but also your car payment's going to be like $700 one day when you get older, and you got to know how to save money. And, but she's smart. She'll figure it out.
Stepson is the exception.
Right.
Oh, yes.
He is the exception.
Yes.
He is 13, and we got him a phone last year, and probably one of the most mature 13-year-old boys and the sweetest that you will ever meet. I mean, he is a special little soul, but he cuts our neighbor's grass on one side, and he weeds grass for another neighbor on the other side. And he has saved every dime that he has made doing that. If he gets birthday money, he saves it. He's got more money in the bank than I probably do right now.
Heck yeah.
And he won't touch it. I mean, we'll go on vacation. We'll go different places. Hey, do you want to take your money? And he's like, I don't really need anything. You ask him what he wants for Christmas. I don't really need anything. Like, it's wild.
Okay, now you're bragging.
No, listen, it makes it difficult because you got to get something.
Right.
And then his sister, my stepdaughter, polar opposite. But I mean, he's exceptional.
That's great. Well, it's like anything else. You form habits, and there's positive habits and there's negative habits. And literally, I think you got to form a habit and have an obsession with not doing something. As much as a kid's addicted to Roblox, they have to figure out how to have a habit of not spending $1. And I think that that's a very positive habit. So good for him.
Yeah.
Like, I know with me, I didn't learn that stuff until a lot later. But one thing, let's get into this. So nature versus nurture. I have this theory. I'm like, with pressure comes diamonds. But is it possible for a kid to have a good life, loving life? They never get any kind of adversity, and they grow up and they get a job and they learn and they save their money, they get a mortgage, they do all this stuff? Or do they have to have some type of struggle? Like with me, my parents were divorced and I literally had no option other than to pay my bills. Mm-hmm. Is that a thing? Or, I'm not saying that I want kids to have a rough life growing up, but how do you find that perfect mix of implementing, and this has turned into a parenting show, but I love it, implementing rules to help them, but also love them? You know what I mean? Like, not feel bad about saying no, if that makes sense. Of course, I don't feel bad, but what are some ways we can help these kids?
Start by saying no. I think that's a big thing. Yeah.
A
lot of kids aren't
Let's
told.
be honest.
Honestly,
a lot of kids aren't told no.
I think a lot of parents struggle with wanting to be their kid's friend. Mm-hmm. And there's a time and place to be your kid's friend. Like my mom now at 32, best friend. She was the maid of honor in my wedding. Like that's my go-to. Mm-hmm. But when you're, a child, like that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to teach you to be a responsible human, because you're going to grow up and be an adult one day. And I want to be able to provide my children with, the resources that they need, and also helping them understand that just because I tell them no doesn't mean that I don't love them, because I think a lot of kids will kind of confuse it with that. Like, if I don't get what I want, then my parents don't love me, or I'll go ask the other parent.
Yeah, at the same time, they know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
They know each parent, like, oh, I can say this to dad, and then I can do this, the maneuver like that. Like, you're manipulating me, child. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're manipulating this family. This ain't fair. But at the same time, like, and, parents parent how you want. Me personally, it was physical abuse is what I got from my dad. Yeah. Like, he did that type of punishment. And it wasn't like a pat on the butt or something. It was like, I'm going to get my weightlifting belt and I'm going to beat the piss out of you. And, obviously, I'm sure he regrets it now that I have a podcast. But at the same time, I spent a lot of time being angry over that. And eventually I had to just say, you know what? He was a sick dude. And the cycle's going to end with me and we're going to move on. But a lot of people can't do that. Like, a lot of people carry the cycle on. So it's possible, though, I feel firmly, without beating these children, that we can implement rules and set stern rules and move on, and they'll eventually get it. So yeah, saying no is a big one. I got to work on that. But I'm curious what your all's thoughts are on, what's it called? Corporal punishment? Is that the technical term?
Like spanking.
Spanking. Yeah, let's talk about it. And no judgments. Listen.
This is going to be a taboo topic.
Sure. Yeah.
I personally, once again, I will not, you parent how you want. Those are your kids. I do not believe spanking that's not how my children respond. I'll say that. Some children may respond like that. I think that when a parent gets to that point, it's more, I don't want to say power trip, but it's more of you fearing them into listening.
Sure.
Instead of, I one time spanked my 2.5-year-old, maybe a week ago. And I literally texted Ashton and told her I was crying.
Sure.
Like, I was devastated because I let my emotions get the best of me as a parent. And I've always heard this quote, and I would love for every parent to understand it, is your kid's not giving you a hard time, they're having a hard time.
Yeah. And I appreciate you being honest about this, because a lot of people can't talk about this, especially in West Virginia. They're like, go out and pick a switch as wide as no wider than your thumb. You know, I'm going to whip you with a switch. And to me, I'm like, that's terrifying. You know, again, with me personally, I knew that with my dad's genetics running through my head that I'm not going to do that when I grow up, because I know how terrifying it was for me when I was a kid. And I also know that often when people do this, frustration takes over, and it's actually way harder than what you realize. Like, because you're doing it because it's kind of an aggressive move of dominance, you know? And again, every parent's different. Do whatever you want. I think it's actually legal. You can spank kids in West Virginia. I don't know the rules, but I'm just saying, just think about it. Like, think hard about it. Think if that's really what you want to do, to tell this kid not to do something. Now, I'm sure mentally it's going to tell them, like, oh, I don't want to hurt again. Like for me, but in instances like, and my dad went above and beyond, like, you know, I'd spill something on the carpet, and then, you know, it was abuse. I'll just freaking say it. I don't even care. But, and I know that's not the majority. The majority is like, yeah, you know, my granny whipped me, and look at what good person I am now. That's great. You know, if you want to whip your kids and they turn out to be great adults, good luck. But I'm just saying, my personal experience completely deterred me away from doing that.
I guess my biggest, argument with spanking, my husband and I have this conversation all the time, is my 2.5-year-old is very big into hitting. It's a behavioral mouse. Like, it's something that he does. He's 2.5. So when he's aggravated, that is his response. But my husband and I talk, and I'm like, well, how are we going to teach him, hey, like, I can hit you, but you can't hit me because I'm your mom.
Yeah. So
then what if other kids hit him? Is he going to get confused that, you know, mom hits me? So. Yeah.
It's an intellectual conversation of like, what is that foundationally going to tell him on how to solve arguments when they're older? Because we can't hit each other now.
Right.
No, like,
we'll go to jail.
If Ashton and I got in a fist fight right now, we'd be, you know.
Yeah, we go to jail.
Like, just because somebody, and we try to do, you know, distraction behaviors, like, hey, you can, you know, go hit a pillow, hit your bed. I worked in a preschool for a while, so we say, like, happy hands, you know, you don't hit. We do this with our hands and offer different things instead of immediately going to a physical form of punishment with your child.
Sure, yeah. And the thing about, and again, I'm sure a majority of those parents love their kids to death and would go and burn someone's house down if they were to hurt their child. That's all. I'm just posing the question of like, what is this actually telling the kid? You know, and everyone feel free to think about that however you want, but yeah.
I think there are things you can do that I'm a believer of natural consequences. I also, you know, me and my husband got together. He had 2 children from a previous marriage. Those kids love them like they are my own. They are not my children. I was a responsible adult in their life, but I never put a hand on them. Have not, will not.
That's how my oldest is from my husband's previous relationship. So
sure.
I've never touched him. At the end of the day, I mean, I've been in his life for 6 years, but.
Yeah.
But I have disciplined those kids in ways that really, I think, were effective. I remember one time my stepson, he was probably like 7 or 8, and I don't even remember what he did, but I remember the punishment was go get all of your lightsabers and put them in a trash bag. And if you don't do blah, 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 we're going to throw them away. I mean, and I remember he and I read all the Harry Potter books together, and I remember I don't even remember what he did, but that was his punishment. Like, we're not reading Harry Potter tonight. Broke my heart, but it was effective punishment for him. And I think that brings us back to knowing your kids. I'm not going to sit here, my 2.5-year-old, yes, I've swatted her on the butt. Do I think it's effective? No.
She's like, whatever, I'm going on.
Oh, no. The last time I did it, I haven't done it in a while because the last time she just laughed at me.
Sure.
And like ran off.
Yeah.
But I think, timeout can be effective. I think there are so many other things you can do. And I think, being mindful of parenting out of your own frustrations and your own anger. I think that's
the big thing. Anything you do in frustration is probably not going to work. Mm-hmm. It's more of, and listen, it can be frustrating. I mean, come on. Like, there's some days where I'm like, this kid detests my existence. Like, she does not want anything to do with me ever. And then we'll make up, and then she'll, it'll be back to normal. And at the same time, she's a creative kid. She's very emotional, so I got to recognize that. Like you said, kids won't respond a certain way to everything. There's people that coach football different. Mm-hmm. There's different approaches to all these things. And every kid has their own specific approach that works the best. And you just got to figure that out, I guess, with love. Key's love.
Yeah.
Love you, kids. It'll all work out. Enabling's bad too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
There is I can't remember who did it now. There's a 9-minute theory, and I preach on this all the time. That the first 3 minutes after your kid wakes up, first 3 minutes after you get them from school, and the last 3 minutes before they go to sleep are the most important minutes of the day. So with mine and my husband's children, they do affirmations. They have daily affirmations. And that's what they do in the morning. Hype them up before school. I mean, I literally have to sing a car seat song to my 2.5-year-old every day.
That's great.
Because he just follows the law. And I
sing it right now.
I mean, I'm down. That would actually be awesome.
Not being on the spot. Okay, my youngest son, his name is Micah. He has hated his car seat literally since birth. Mm-hmm. Used to make himself throw up. He was so upset in the car seat. And I call my husband crying all the time. Like, he's screaming, I can't get him to calm down. And my stepson, he literally never liked that in a car seat. He did. I met him when he was 1.5 years. He was a great baby. We never had those issues. But every single day, we have to back out of my garage. And I have to be like, all right, Micah, let's get in your car seat. And he'll be like, okay, Mom, car seat song. And I have to sing until he is completely buckled up and I'm shutting the door. Micah got in his car seat. Micah got in his car seat. Micah got in his car seat. Do, 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 do. So.
Miranda, that's the lamest song.
Well, listen.
I'm sorry. No, that was a good job.
Saturday, my husband's on FaceTime with me. I'm at work.
Right.
Saturday, my husband calls me and he's like, I'm taking the kids to Lowe's. And I'm like, okay. So they're getting in the car and Micah's like, Dad, sing the car seat song. And my husband travels a lot for work. So I typically do daycare drop off. So
sure,
I made up the song.
It's a good song.
Yeah. And he's trying to make one up on the spot because he doesn't know the car seat song.
Right.
So he's like, oh, you're in your car seat. Yeah, you're in your car seat. And Micah's like, that's not the song. And I have to sing it while I'm at work into the FaceTime. And my husband is just like, what is happening?
On her walking pad.
Yes,
that's awesome.
On my walking pad. And my husband is just like, do, 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 do. And Micah's like, yeah, that's right.
That's part of the fun of being a parent, though. You'll have these little things that they probably won't remember when they get older, but you will when you're in your depression of like, wow, they're old and out of the house now. But you'll be like, remember when we used to watch that one movie? Da, 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 da? And then they'll be like, no, I don't remember that at all. Well, I do. It was a big deal at the time.
We do the Christmas fairy.
Oh, okay.
And my stepson thinks that's the greatest thing. We will put a random gift. We do it starting the first Friday in December. And the Christmas fairy goes and leaves the gifts outside. And then my husband will like knock on a door or a wall and he'll be like, oh my God, the Christmas fairy's here. And then you go outside and there's the Christmas fairy gift.
Yeah. Y'all do Elf on a Shelf?
No. Ashton does.
You talk about a chore. You talk about a chore. Elf on the Shelf is the biggest chore of my life.
See, last year it wasn't too bad.
Right.
Okay.
Did you buy one of those kits?
Well, my mom bought me one.
Okay, perfect.
But last year wasn't too bad because my daughter was only like a year and a half.
Oh, she's going to know this year.
I know. My stepkids are only there 50% of the time. So I didn't have to do it every single night.
Yeah.
And I just know, like, I'm going to have to do it every night this year, probably.
Yeah. You know what's depressing is I talked my kid into, I was like, the elf stops coming when you're 11. Like, they don't come around. And then, so last year she was 10 and she's all like, terrified, like sad because each day is the last time they're going to see the elf again, so there's just, and I'm like, kid, you're 10, you're smart. You've read 300 books. And I know she does, but at the same time, I think she likes that nostalgia of feeling, you know what I mean? Like
not
the kid.
only do I have to do it, but I have 2 elves at my house.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. You when you add, you got to add every year. Like you got to get the cat.
Because my mom, along with the kit, bought my daughter her own specific elf. Thanks, Mom.
And then you got the people who are like, and listen, I ain't judging anyone. I'm not judging anyone. I'm just bringing this up. I'm bringing up things I've noticed. So when you're not supposed to touch it, okay, everyone knows this. You're not supposed to touch the elf. That's the rule. And somehow we've held the one thing we've done in our life that we've held, not the cell phone. It's don't touch the elf. She doesn't touch the elf, the magic goes. Well, some families will put the elf in a jar so they can carry the elf around and they can do the whole thing. I'm like, you got to examine that. Okay, that's breaking a major rule of their life structure.
Last year, my stepdaughter tried telling me that, she could touch it with tongs. You can't touch it with your hands.
So we've done that too, yeah.
Not the loophole.
I think, didn't I not move it one night after she touched it?
Yes, you absolutely did not move it.
I just left it alone.
Yeah.
And then I told her it didn't move. Maybe it lost its magic because you touched it.
Instantly broke down.
No.
Oh, really?
She was like, I don't know. I think she plays me sometimes.
Listen, kids are smart, man.
Yeah,
kids
they
are
are
smart.
So smart.
And then she didn't touch it, so I moved it the next night. But.
Yeah, I did the tong thing, but it was like I can only use the tongs. So I moved the thing. And then I've done the thing where you wake up at 6:15 a.m. and then you're like, because you forget to do something. And then you're like, let me throw in some toilet paper, roll it downstairs or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a whole thing. But I mean, we'll miss that stuff.
Yeah.
Later when our kidneys are malfunctioning or whatever. It's like, man, I really miss that elf on the shelf. Those were the days. Thought I had problems then.
I think about my parents, it was rough. Okay. It wasn't always rough, but it was rough. They would, the rest of the year, things would be garbage, but on Christmas, and me and my siblings and my mom talk about this now, they went all out and they did all the things and they would go outside. We fed the reindeer and left cookies. My dad would go outside in the middle of the night and ring bells outside of our window.
Nice. Like Jingle Bell? Like Santa?
Yeah, I guess.
That's fun.
Yeah.
We always write notes to Santa and my husband writes them back.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, Susie writes a note every day. Mm-hmm. Susie the elf.
Yeah.
I think those are important things to do with your kids.
It really is. Yeah, I'm a jerk.
No. Listen, if I did Elf on a Shelf, maybe my kids just haven't discovered it yet. I don't know.
I mean, do what you want. I'm in favor of probably not introducing it. But at the same time, it's what a memory for them, either that or they'll grow up and be traumatized from the elf not moving or who knows. I doubt that'll happen. But yeah, it's a tradition. It's a fun tradition that makes, someone millions, which is fine. That's how the world works. But yeah. And those things are important. Like, I think, especially in all these counties where I think it's like 50% of kids are raised by their grandparents in McDowell, and you got all these things coming into the equation, and we like to bring up, all the drug epidemic and all that. That's everywhere, but which is obviously awful to grow up with. But at the same time, like you said, kids are smart. I think they adapt, and I always think that we'll make the best out of anything. It's just don't make the Terminator, because that'll be hard to overcome.
Kids' empathy is so important. We do the angel tree every year.
Oh, what's that?
Normally Walmart will have a tree, and you can go and pick a couple kids, or we will message, and I just blanked on it. We did it last year. Their building is across from Hobby Lobby as you're going up the hill to the United Methodist Church. You can sponsor a kid for Christmas.
The Mexican restaurant?
No, not what is that? Ranchero?
Yeah.
Is it still open?
I think so, yeah.
You got that, and then you got the 4-wheeler place.
It's where that star place. It's
where I got my root canal. The credit union place.
It's not Rising Stars. That's a daycare.
Oh.
No, but it's literally if you were turning up the road to go to here's that dealership. There's a building right here.
Get your technology out and Google it.
It's a building. No one cares. I mean, we care because we're kind of in the area. But
you can. I'll figure out the name of it.
Right.
But you can sponsor kids through there. But we do that angel tree and we'll pick a couple kids off the angel tree. And we have our kids donate to. We always tell them, we have to donate X amount of toys or clothing or something at Christmas. For new toys to come in, and we explain that there's some kids that are less fortunate, and to not brag about things that they get.
Good for you. Yeah.
So, and they love the angel tree. They love to pick out the things on the list. And
yeah, we volunteer at a food bank, and I make sure, she works, and we really enjoy that. It's good perspective. I mean, you can be sad that certain things exist, but you can also look at the beautiful aspect of what people are trying to do to fix those problems. I firmly believe you're not looking through things with rose-colored glasses. You're just hopeful for the future and trying to leave the world a better place. That's how I see it. But yeah, I think showing your kids that, and I'll drive up sometimes, I'll be like, Nora, see that guy over there? At some point, he ended up without a home. Now he sleeps there. You need to realize, you got a home, and yeah, we work hard for it, but at the same time, be grateful, because a lot of people are one mistake away from being homeless.
Yeah, that's kind of what, everyone's one bad day away from having a crisis or
exactly like you started. Yep,
in the hospital, and people really don't realize that at all, and don't realize the weight that other people are carrying, and they think that, oh well, they live in a nice house and they've got a good job and XYZ, but underlining, they still have something going on too.
They don't know they're in debt up to their eyeballs.
Exactly.
And they're stuck on the ball and chain of going to work and paying for this freaking, $60,000 SUV so they can drive to work. Ain't life crazy? It's why do we need credit? I mean, I'm going to get all Dave Ramsey on you. I don't know if y'all like Dave Ramsey, but
I do follow his snowball method.
Oh.
Great debt payoff method.
That snowball, highly recommend y'all need to look into that. And y'all know I'm I have agnostic views. It's nothing, he doesn't bring religion into it a lot, and I don't really care if he does. I appreciate it, but excellent financial advice that people can, and obviously I have no clue. He has no clue who I am, and they're not paying for this. I'm just saying it changed my life. So yeah. All right. So outlook. Let's talk future plans. Let's start with you first, Ashton. What is your hopes for your overall career, X amount of years when you decide to hang it up? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm a workaholic. I don't know that I think about when I'll stop working. Should I tell him what we'd like to do?
Yes.
Okay. Like I said, I'm getting my master's, and Miranda already has hers, and she's getting her LICSW, and I'm getting certified with I graduate in May, with my LICSW, and then I'll have 2 more years.
What is that acronym?
Licensed
Independent clinical social worker.
Got it.
And we have talked about nothing concrete, but
Just a plan.
opening like a private practice play therapy for kids in the general area.
Have y'all done Birth to 3?
Nope.
Okay.
I've watched it.
I think that's game changing, but that's what I thought of when you first said that.
Yeah.
It's because they'll go and they'll work with them, and that's beautiful.
But we need something for the kids older than 3. Birth to 3 is great. I know people that work there. They got a little bit of a raise this last legislative session.
Shout out.
They need another one.
Well, I mean, to be honest, everybody needs raises.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know how you do it, but
yeah,
go ahead.
But yeah, they're great. But I think that there is a definite gap in resources and services, many gaps, not just one. But I think Birth to 3 is great. But what about those kids that are like 3 to 5 and so forth? I mean, we are very, very limited on that. So that's an outlook. That's what we're thinking.
And sometimes, I mean, watching kids play, especially if you give a kid a house and a couple little dolls and you see how their dolls interact, you're probably going to see how mom and dad interact.
Really?
Or how dad and stepmom, mom and stepdad, mom, grandma, dad, you're going to see how everyone interacts when they're playing.
I think a lot of people think it's like in a movie when they take a kid to like a psychologist and they're like, draw a picture of your family in a house. And there's, when I have a kid that I'm trying to assess and they are nervous or they seem very standoffish, we keep all kinds of different little things, but puzzles. We have a lot of puzzles, and we'll give them a puzzle, and you don't realize when you're moving your hands and when you're doing that multitasking, you're probably going to say more than what you would have if you're just staring at me while I'm asking you questions. That's why, and that's something they'll talk about in school, like if you give a kid like a stuffed animal or something. But yeah, and I've done that several times, and I've gotten a lot of information and probably stuff they would have never told me. So that's a good technique.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the treadmill under the desk. Like, you think better when your blood's flowing.
Yeah.
Really.
And even, I think, meeting, especially when you're working with adults, I think meeting them where they're at. And a lot of the times I try to find some common denominator that we have. If we have adults that, I'm 32, there's going to be adults that are going to think I don't know a single thing and that I'm not going to be able to help them at all. But if we can find a common denominator, maybe we have the favorite TV show. One of the questions we like to, what do you like to do for fun? What's your favorite activities? And once you start building rapport with somebody, you can really learn a lot about them. And then they're going to open up to you more instead of if you're just like, hey, what's going on?
Sure, yeah. What if they're like, I like to vape, and that's it?
Oh, that happens.
That happens.
Okay. And then they pull out this thing that looks like, this Flatwoods Monster. It's like,
That's
it's just
when we're
what in the
like-
world are y'all doing? You're buying batteries.
Yeah.
That's when
I mean,
we're
if you
like,
vape, I don't care, but I'm just saying.
That's when we're like, what's like a healthy thing that you do?
Right.
Like, do you like to be outside? Do you like to hunt, fish, things like that? But we do. That is a common.
Working with teenagers, I think the number one answer is sleep.
Right.
And it's like, well, can you give me something else? Like something you enjoy, something that makes you feel good. Yeah, the vaping's a problem. I mean, the vape shops are a problem. Like,
it's like over 80% of teenagers have vaped. I don't know. It's something crazy number like that.
My mom and dad would have kicked my butt.
Yeah.
If that's what I was doing. And
now, granted, I mean, if you were to say, is it better than cigarettes? Probably. But at the same time, we don't really know.
I don't think we know yet. I don't
Yeah.
think it's been long enough yet. And it's changed so much, even in the last 5 years. I mean,
Yeah.
you went from like the Juul that everybody was, and then you've got these flavors.
And now listen, no judgments. Like there, a lot of like recovering addicts and stuff use vaping as a way to like have some function to do. Like I get it, but at the same time, it's a huge problem with kids.
Yeah.
It's like, and they market to, I don't care what they say, they market to kids. I mean, you make something called Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Or something like that. That's not going to be for adults.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, you're fine. That is something else too, is we see, marijuana. I don't have a problem with it. And when I get a teenager who's using it, this is exactly what I say to every single one. I don't have a problem with marijuana. I only have a problem with marijuana for 3 reasons. Okay. The first reason, it's illegal. Okay. It's not legal in the state of West Virginia. And if you're 15 smoking a vape pen with weed in it, it's probably not medically
I think you got to be over 18.
Yeah, you do.
I think for medical, which I don't know though. If there's a kid with cancer, I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that either. But these kids, I mean, they're not being prescribed this.
Right.
But yeah, it's illegal. Second, your brain is still developing. Okay. And there are a lot of studies being done about the effects of using marijuana so young. And the third reason is there are studies being done that show that people who are prone or may have a later developing mental health issue like schizophrenia. A lot of people don't show symptoms of schizophrenia until early to mid 20s.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to see an uptick in teenagers having onset psychosis from marijuana. That is terrifying. I think that people who use it for cancer, for pain, and even anxiety. If you're an adult, I don't care what you do. As long as you're decent and you treat people good, whatever. But I think I've seen some scary stuff.
Sure.
With marijuana and young and like teenagers.
This is a good chat. We getting into it? Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, what are your feelings on alcohol?
For anyone in general?
Yeah. Because, and I understand, like, of course, anything can be abused. I mean, you can abuse, Tylenol or whatever, which I don't know if that would do anything other than give you liver failure. But alcohol statistically is one of the things that you can't quit cold turkey if you're so far in and not die.
Right.
And I think that's a huge problem too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like one of those debates of like, they both can be very bad for you. One, I think if I was to pick which is worse, it would be alcohol.
I think alcohol would be much harder to quit. Do you see commercials for meth or heroin?
Right.
No. See the Budweiser and Corona commercials. It's out there and it's in your face. And if you're trying not to drink it, it's much more difficult to get away from it. Whereas, you have meth. I mean, I know that there are people who struggle with getting away from that lifestyle because they know their friends are in it or whatever, but it's not being advertised to you. And I think that makes alcohol it's so much more accessible.
It's normalized.
Yeah.
Like going and getting drunk on a Wednesday, it's normal.
How many songs do you know that involve alcohol? I mean, there's songs that have, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, that means I get drunk all day.
All the 2000s top country hits.
Exactly.
Now, do I love a good glass of wine? Yeah.
Oh, I love Oktoberfest. This is the greatest time of the year. Not because of the beer, but it tastes really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love a good country concert in the summer with beer. Love going to Pies and Pints. I love a good brewery. But I think you have to recognize if you're having a pattern or if you're only drinking because, like, as a coping skill. You had a bad day at work and you're going to go straight to the bar and you're not going to deal with actually what happened. So then I think that in your head, every time there's an inconvenience, what are you going to do?
Sure.
You're going to go drink.
And there's so many, imagine having to drink and not hurt, because that's what they do. Functional. They drink so they can function. I mean, that's when, the deep throes of addiction where it's like, this is a product that I started because I really liked Clydesdales. I was like, that's a really cool commercial. I'm going to drink. Oh, that kind of tastes like crap, until eventually you're like, that's pretty daggone good. It's like, it's doing something to your brain. And eventually you're far in, and before you know it, if you don't get a hold of it, you have to, or you're going to die.
1000%.
Yeah. And it's awful. And now in marijuana, you can abuse it too, but it is less habit forming than alcohol. Mm-hmm. I may have participated in a few joints in my day, and I can put them down.
Right.
And I've never had the feeling of like, oh, I can't wait to do that again. Now, alcohol to me becomes a thing to where it's like when I used to smoke, I would eat or drink and then I would smoke a cigarette. And it wasn't just because I love cigarettes. Who really loves cigarettes? It was because it was a pattern of it become a pattern eventually.
Yeah.
And, I find that way, with alcohol now, I'm like, ooh, I'd really love a cold beer. I remember a time where beer tasted like pure dirt. And then eventually it's like, it don't. What is that?
Right.
I don't know.
People don't become addicted overnight.
Yeah.
It's not like this. And I've always preached it, the choice versus illness.
Sure.
It's both. It starts as a choice, but people don't become addicts to anything. Oh, it doesn't happen fast. It's over time with patterns and with self-medication and just coping with stressors, and it's a negative coping skill. It starts as a choice. You make that choice, but then it takes time and it can get totally out of control, but people don't choose to live that way. And I don't care what you're addicted to. That people don't choose that.
No, it's a comfortability factor. Eventually it becomes, it's like a hoarder, for instance. It eventually becomes having that bottle is like grandma's biscuits and gravy. It's that feels so comfortable to me to have, and to, have at this certain temperature, in this certain glass, in this certain taste. Usually like pine tar. I don't know why anyone drinks liquor. It's the worst. But at the same time, it's the same thing. It's like eventually there's a comfortability that was formed and they just had a pattern. It's like going to the gym. Like you got positive patterns, you got negative patterns.
Mhm.
You know, some people take the gym to the full extreme, but it's the same thing. Like, why do you think people run marathons? You think it's because they like running? It's like, no, they like the challenge of pushing themselves beyond it's like they get addicted to that feeling. That's an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to go out and run 26 miles?
Not me.
Because you like it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like,
If you see me running, you better run too, because something bad's happening.
Coming.
yeah. Well, it's that's the same way for me. Like, you know, if I run 3 miles, I think like, where's my trophy? You know, I think it's I just try to put myself in those people's shoes of not judging them, but you know, relating in ways that I've struggled.
Mhm.
You know, granted, theirs is more detrimental, like it could kill them, but I sympathize with that because right now, like I can't put my phone down. I've tried, and every day I'm like, I'm going to do better tomorrow. And I just can't freaking do it. And it's behavior, like cognitive behavioral therapy. Do y'all know that? Did you take that class? Can you tell me what to do? What do I do? Do I got to put the phone like in a lockbox or something? What's the key to breaking a habit? Which I know y'all ain't therapists necessarily, but kinda.
I think if you are trying to break something, I think you need to replace it with something else. If you're trying to break using your phone, I wouldn't try cutting it out for an entire day because that's impossible. So then you're going to feel like you can never do it. So I would start with 20 minutes. Put your phone down for 20 minutes and then do that for 5 days and then do 30 minutes. I think addiction is one of the most misunderstood things, especially here, because we're all addicted to something.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't realize that they're addicted to something until like our phones or I don't know, sugar even. Like you don't until you try giving up sugar for a full day.
Now, if I don't do that, I die.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Try giving up your morning coffee. Ashton and I are
Now, yes.
coffee,
If I don't do that, I'll die.
diehard coffee fans.
Here's a fun game, but I'm sorry to cut you off. Think of how many cups you drink before noon and think of that number, and I'll go 1, 2, 3, say that number. You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Oh no.
1, 2, 3, 3.
2.
Okay. I win. Carry on. Coffee's so good though.
It is.
But it ain't. But it is.
My husband doesn't drink coffee. He just like wakes up in the morning and walks out of the house, and I'm like, what are you doing there?
Couldn't
Yeah.
beat me.
Can never. But people don't realize like, okay, you're addicted to coffee, Mountain Dew, whatever. Like if you're drinking 12 cans of Mountain Dew every day, that's not healthy either. I mean, of course, not
Mountain Dew mouth.
Drinking 12 cans of beer a day isn't healthy either. But people don't realize that we're all addicted to something.
Oh, yes.
And you don't realize how hard it is to stop. So that's why, like, some of these people, I'll hear people say, especially to alcoholics or, you know, people who are using heroin, meth, anything like that. Well, why don't they just quit? Okay, well, why don't you just quit something? Why don't you just quit something you do every day?
Yeah.
Because you can't. If you took my Keurig away from me or my Ninja coffee maker, nah.
I mean, but think about it. No one that first tries coffee likes it. Let's be honest. Like, if you was to drink black coffee, you'd be like, that's the worst thing I've ever had.
Oh, yeah, no. Not black.
So we got to add the cream and the sugar, and then it's like, ooh, that's good. But was it really good, though? I mean, think about it. It's good now because we're addicted to it. But, like, you drink, but at the same time, you drink decaf, and you're like, that's a little different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what is it? I don't know what it is. Like, I'm addicted to Alani now, and I got to stop.
I love a good Alani.
Golly, I got to stop. Why can't they make a non-caffeinated Alani?
That would be you should do that. That would be a genius idea.
Why don't you write them a letter?
I will.
I would love a non, because I will do like 2 coffees and an Alani.
Jesus, I like it. No, that's what kind of life I'm living. So, as far as milligrams, your standard cup of coffee is about what?
200?
No.
Is it not?
Way lower. It's like 60 to 80 milligrams.
And Alani is 200.
Alani's 200.
For sure.
That is your daily intake for sure of caffeine.
No,
like I don't even think the daily intake's supposed to be that high. One Alani. They make the little half ones now. Do you get those?
Well, those are just a waste.
Yeah.
Why have the half one?
I drink 2 of them. Now I'm like, what did I do that for? But yeah, like that, I mean, caffeine's a drug.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people
Hardcore.
just don't see it as that because it's just, I don't know.
But it's like we rationalize our own lives into other people. It's like, I can do this. Why can't you do it? It's like, that's never the answer.
Mhm.
That's everyone's different. There's a way, like we talked about already, but there's a way to approach everything with everyone. Different life experiences. Like it's never going to be that simple. And, but if they want to do that, free country, do whatever. But I like to be empathetically accountable with people. So I think it's possible. All right, y'all. I think we've pissed enough people off.
With our parenting advice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll be like, I beat my kids. You better not say nothing to me. You better not. And I'm like, okay, calm down, Gladys. All right. Do whatever you want.
That's your kid.
Actually, don't do whatever you want. Like, I don't know the rules of spanking, but be sure to stay within those rules and don't go overboard. But anyway, thank y'all for being here. We don't have anyone to plug, really. What would you say to someone? Like, what kind of resources do people have? Let's say you're a struggling parent, struggling single parent, or something like that. Since we've talked a lot about parenting, what kind of resources do people have that they can reach out to be like, I kind of slacking?
There's actually, and I don't think a lot of people know about it, FMRS has a children's mobile crisis. And if you call them, they actually come out to you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What do they have, like roadblocks on the van, or like you just bring them on there and then you go and like have some macaroni and cheese? Or
They have a crisis intervention team, and they're trained to come and de-escalate and help with whatever the issue is. Parents often are calling like law enforcement, and not that law enforcement, they do a great job. They do what they're supposed to do. But sometimes I think if people knew that they could call someone else who is more specifically trained to deal with that type of situation, it would be helpful.
Yeah, because the trainings are different.
Yeah. There's youth services where you can get, once again, a parent can make the referral. It's through centralized intake again, and you just say that you want to make a youth service referral, and that puts someone in your home that can help.
And I always explain it.
Oh, yeah.
When parents are always like, well, what's youth services?
I don't want anybody in my home.
Sure, yeah.
But I always explain it. CPS is there for when parents aren't doing what they're supposed to do, and they might need a little help.
Mm-hmm. Youth
services is there when child's not doing what they're supposed to do, and they need some support and help. So they come in and work with them. So, and also 1-800-HELP for West Virginia. It's a good resource. Wraparound services.
Help the number 4.
Number 4.
Help number 4 WV.
Yep.
Wraparound services. What's
wraparound? So they can have therapists come in your home. They can have just a case manager, like a social worker can come in your home. And they can do all kinds of things, different services, resources. And you call them and you're just like, hey, my kid I need help. Like you can also call 1-800-HELP for West Virginia for help with substance abuse. If you don't know what to do, and you want help, they can assist. So, and a lot of people They don't know.
Mhm.
If you've got a super unruly child, you can file what's called an incorrigible. It is through the court. But, you have a kid who refuses to go to school, is aggressive with you, anything along those lines.
Yeah. You know what I miss? The simpler times, as they say. Did y'all watch Sally Jesse Raphael? Probably not. I know you didn't. No. Okay. Well, they had my kid's a terror, and they'd bring the kid on, and they'd be cussing out his parents, and everyone would just be like, "Oh, that's shocking. We don't see that every day." But now it's like normal, But
Yeah.
But anyway.
But there's tons of resources, and one of the biggest struggles, I guess, that we have is there's nowhere to send kids. And with certain regulations in place, if your kid doesn't meet this very strict criteria, you're going home.
And when we say send, we don't mean to like an orphanage. We mean to
like a qualified,
like a residential treatment
facility
center where they can get, and not military school, not boarding school, like somewhere where they can receive mental health treatment, and they have therapists that they work with, and very effective. But those are very limited.
We have those places?
We only have one in the state.
Oh, shoot.
And
okay. Where's it at?
It's in
Barbersville.
Yeah,
We got to run a mile in 6 minutes, or
listen, you got to have three hospitalizations within a year. You have to have tried every outpatient resource possible, and you have to have proof. I mean, youth services, wraparound services, children's mobile crisis, outpatient therapy. But what if you have a kid who can't stay home long enough to do youth services?
Yeah.
And but then since we only have one place in the state, then they're going out of state. And then they're a plane ride away. Nobody wants to send their kid a plane ride away.
For 6 months to a year.
We work very close with a facility. It's called KidLink. You can also do parental referrals through them. We love them. We've worked with them for years.
Shout out John.
Shout out John.
I won't say his last name.
And right. Emily. She's up there.
There's a lot of John and Emily's. No one knows.
Very common names.
Yep. Shout out.
So we love working with them, and they'll do everything in their power to help us when we need.
And it also depends. There are also different factors. Insurance is a factor. 9 times out of 10, we're dealing with Medicaid. And sometimes.
Well, you won't be for long. Or what is that going to affect your all's job? Or it seems like I heard Medicare, or is it Medicare that's raising? I don't even know.
Listen, it changes every day.
I don't even know.
I literally don't know.
Yeah, but go ahead. Sorry.
And then you have some things that are court ordered, and that affects things too. So, but a biggest issue we have like with parental referrals is, and it makes sense. Like they want these kids to have outpatient treatment first before you're like, hey, let's ship them off to Alabama.
Right.
And put them in this facility. Makes sense. There are times when you're going to have a kid who's a little too dangerous, maybe for themselves, or too dangerous to be around other people. That's risky business.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be scary.
Yeah. It sounds like it's hard to narrow down and say, hey, my kid has a really deep problem. Like it sounds almost impossible. What's the capacity of this place? And it's not juvenile detention, correct? It's
No.
It's a therapy.
I mean,
place.
there's some placements where if the kids get X amount of points, I mean, they take them on outings, like to the movies, to the mall. So
nice.
And for adults, I'm not sure how many people are you familiar with like the mental hygiene process?
No.
Okay. So I think
have you listened to the show? Yeah. Just curious.
So I think like for adults, they if you have an adult who, I don't know, maybe they smoked a bad batch of marijuana and there's something else in there.
Nice.
And
Bad
they're,
weed. There it is again.
yeah,
There it is.
they're off the chain. And why are you going to send them to jail when they need some sort of other treatment? So if someone over the age of 18, you cannot file these on children. It's very important. Some people think you can. You cannot.
Mm-hmm.
If you are over the age of 18 and you have concerns for the safety of someone else, or, someone's hallucinating, something like that, you can go to the courthouse and you can file what's called a mental hygiene. And you can put reasons why you're concerned. They threatened to kill themselves. They threatened to kill me. They're talking out of
Brandished
their
a weapon.
Yeah, they're talking out of their head.
Right.
They were walking naked down the street.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yep.
It's my husband.
Bath salt.
So when you're in those situations, you can go and file that mental hygiene and you can explain what's going on. And the petitioner, one thing I think that's important to know is whoever you filed on, they will figure out who you are, because you have to submit it to the court. The person will get picked up and typically they're brought to a hospital. And they'll do a hearing. They get a public defender, and they can talk on their behalf on why they do or don't need hospitalization. And the petitioner can speak on their behalf on why they feel that they do need it or they should be put in. And then they're also examined by a psychologist. I won't say her name, but she is absolutely fantastic.
The best.
Shout out random person.
Yeah, she's great. But they'll come talk to somebody and the commissioner makes the final decision on, exactly what they need. But some people don't know that there's help out there, and it doesn't have to go on your record. It's not like you're getting arrested. You're just getting help.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Well, it sounds like there's a lot going on that we don't really realize. So that's
There's
refreshing.
a lot of resources.
Yeah. It has the one West Point of youth mental health. Where's this place at?
Oh, there's
Barbersville?
Oh, yeah, Barbersville.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the one. We used to have another one in Charleston. They still do acute, but they don't do long-term treatment.
Mm.
Yeah, we're talking about like residential treatment.
So
for those of you getting on here and saying, you've got the Mountaineer Challenge Academy, it's not a behavioral health treatment.
What's that?
It's a voluntary.
It's a voluntary program. There's 2 locations in the state. I know the southern one's in Montgomery at the old tech campus.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it's like military school, but it's not. It's a program for teenagers, and it's totally voluntary. Like, they can't be forced to go. They cannot be court ordered to go.
Right.
But they go and they can get their, don't quote me on this, they can get their GED. I think they can get their diploma.
They can.
Yeah. And
they can be connected with outside resources too. It's a
good program. And it's not all bad kids, which I don't think there's bad kids. I just think there's bad circumstances and bad things that happen to us and bad coping skills.
Have you met all kids? No,
I've met a lot of kids.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, what a jerk thing for me to say. Like, that's my job. Jerk is what you could say. But yeah, no, I agree with you. There's bad circumstances. And you got to always have faith in the youth. I mean, have faith in everyone except for murderers. Those people, of course, they can recover too, but that's the one thing that I'm like, there's kind of no coming back from that for me. But anyway, but yeah, well, I appreciate y'all coming in here, and I think we've solved absolutely nothing, but I know I'm very hopeful. I'm more hopeful than I was before the conversation. And it's because people like you are doing this work on a daily basis. Even though you're going to start your own thing, which I firmly believe you should, your employers now, don't worry, we're going to work out a notice. We're going to do the whole thing. Have you thought about where you're going to put the place? Or there's a lot of empty buildings.
There are. Maybe we'll start with one and then we'll expand. Maybe
Heck
we'll become
yeah.
a chain.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is
Maybe you can have us
childcare.
back when we're super successful.
Yeah. Can you just start like a childcare place? Like we need more places.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
So bad.
So expensive and bad, but also
Oh,
it's almost impossible because when you start a business, you do have to be profitable, but it's almost impossible to be profitable because you got to charge so much money. And then in turn, the people who really need it. Now everyone needs it, but the people who really need it can't get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, one thing at a time. Well, thank you all. 1-800-HELP, number 4WV.
Yep.
A lot of good resources there. And hope everyone enjoyed this conversation half as much as I did. I've learned so much today. Also that I am actually, yes, a terrible parent. And we got to just keep on keeping on. But thank you all. Everyone out there, be sure to like this video if you haven't. Subscribe to Creepalachia on YouTube if you haven't. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, take a minute and leave a review. That'll really help the show be found. And we do have merch now at creepalachia.shop. Pick you up some stuff. I'll press it and mail it to you, and it'll be a good time. And enjoy the fall season. Pumpkin beer, not too much. Don't get addicted. And above all else, long live Appalachia.